Welcome back to Online Darts, everyone. We are here at Ocky in London, and we've got the wonderful Mr. Huw Ware. Huw, what a day this is. The launch of Bladeex, a new 10-year partnership between the PDC and Winmore. This is exciting times, isn't it?
It is, yeah, and I think to agree a 10-year extension, I think that just goes to show how strong the relationship is between the PDC and Winmore. So long may it continue. I mean, you can see the Bladeex board behind me. It's a wonderful board. It really is. You can see just how bright all the colours are as well. It's a very colourful board. The wires, they're so thin, Phil. It's like there are no wires, you know. Yeah, it's a wonderful dartboard. Today's been great. Really good draws, some great matches, and I hope the relationship goes from strength to strength. So congratulations to the PDC, and congratulations to Winmore.
Well, you kind of answered it there, but I want to go into a bit more detail. As a referee, how important is it that it is bright and that you can see clearly where the darts are and so on? And does that impact your game and make it easier?
Oh, I think so. Yeah, I mean, it always helps when you can see where the darts have landed, you know. And of course, the thinner the wires are, the less chance there are of the darts hitting the wire and bouncing out, of course. So this is a really, really high quality dartboard like we've never seen before. And I can't wait to see it at the World Masters. Its durability as well, Phil, I think, it's a really durable dartboard as well. I know how much work has gone in to make sure it's as durable as what it is. I think a lot of dart players out there are going to get a lot of pleasure out of it, but amateur dart players as well as professional players.
Look, the Blade, we know, has been the market leader for 3 decades, and there's no signs of it stopping. A real statement of intent from Winmore, this, to everyone else in the marketplace.
Can I tell you something? When I used to do summer work experience at Winmore, I think of the Blade 5, and I was working my summer job, and they asked me to basically product test it, which basically meant just stand there all afternoon, Huw, and play darts, just throw darts at this board. Well, I had the time of my life, Phil.
Great job.
I really did. I had the time of my life. I was in heaven. And I'm sure that was the Blade 5. I might be wrong, but this was going back about 10, 15 years ago now, and that was a great dartboard, and still is, of course, but that was a great dartboard at the time. Now, as technology is moving on and all the rest of it, I mean, their factories in Kenya and the operation that goes on over there has more than doubled in size. It's an incredible operation that they have over there. I would love to go and see it actually, because I just think that would be fascinating. But as technology is improved and increased, it's just leading to better and better quality dartboards.
Last time we spoke was in the summer at Champion of Champions, and there was a load of exciting projects that you were done that you couldn't speak about at the time. Now they're out in the open. Obviously, your trip down to Antarctica and stuff like that. How good was that? And did you ever dream that refereeing could take you into the areas that it's taken?
So when I went to the Falkland Islands in August, I mean, I have a very strong personal connection with that because my father is a veteran of the Falklands War, and I think it's fair to say I wasn't in the Falklands War, but I grew up with the after effects of it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So the idea that I get into darts, and darts gives me that sort of full circle life moment that's actually got sort of nothing to do with darts in some ways.
Yeah.
That darts has given both myself and my father that full circle opportunity. I can't believe, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I just cannot believe that darts gave us both that opportunity, because it was a very emotional trip in many ways. We went down there, I went down there in my role as a Winmore ambassador. We launched a brand new dart society on the Mount Pleasant military complex there. About 100 people showed up for it. I think there's about, there's just under 1,000 people there on the complex. About 100 showed up. I know that the darts is doing really well down there, the dart society that we launched while we were there. But then we also did a lot of other personal stuff, more personal to my father. He gave a talk to the troops about his experiences in the war, which, of course, for this generation, if they're ever wondering why they're there, that's why. You know?
Of course.
And all the sacrifice that went on down there. That my father lost very good friends of his. Just the most horrific experiences that I could never wish to go through, and thank God a lot of us never do have to go through in our lifetimes. So it was a very emotional trip, very sort of life affirming, and life in some ways feel life changing. Actually, I felt like I'd come back having. Closed a door, if you like, just sort of made peace with some things, if that makes sense.
No, I like that. That's a good way to put it.
Just the fact that darts gave me that opportunity, like you say, that's just mind blowing. That's incredible.
World Championship was great. However, for you referees in the referee club, it's also quite sad watching George walk off for the the final time after doing the final?
Yes, it was. I mean, I grew up with George as like my refereeing inspiration in many ways. You know, his voice, his rhythm, his authority, his timing. He was just the most wonderful referee, one of the best to ever do it. So it's been an honour to share the stage with him for the last 10 years, and to be there for his for the final. It was wonderful to be there. It was wonderful to watch him do it for the last time, and he's gone out on top, and that was fitting.
I'm not saying that you're anywhere near that yet, but when you feel the time is right, is that something that you'd want to do, is go out at the top of your game still, not almost be asked to go? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, but both Russ and George, they both went out to the top, didn't they? And I think that's the best thing that could happen to you, as a dart referee. I mean, when my time comes, I would also love to go out that way. Yeah. I hope that would be the case. But he's been a wonderful referee, a great career, both in the BDO first, of course, for many years, and then switching to the PDC. He's been an extraordinary ambassador for darts, and he continues to be, because he has all of his other projects that he's doing, which I'm sure will continue to go from strength to strength. The darts refereeing world will miss him, hugely miss him. He's been wonderful.
Well, on that, it's obviously now out that Mr. Binks is going to get his chance and his shot at replacing George. Has he been picking your brain on what's it like yet to step up on that stage for the first time?
Well, no, not really sort of picking my brain, because of course he's been up there for many years as a marker, sort of stood right next to the referee. So I think he already has a very good sense of what to expect and what it feels like and all the rest of it. Of course, actually holding the microphone for the first time, I'm sure, will be a little bit different. But he's more than capable, as we know. He's done all his work down the Motor Super Series, got a lot of experience there. And I'm sure he'll do just fine.
It's got a very young feel, this referee team, to it now, isn't it? Like, as we said, when Russ, George and Johnny Mack of that, it feels like a real changing of the guard, that it's a very young, vibrant one now as well.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it feels quite weird, Phil, to be honest, to be sort of like one of the senior ones now, all of a sudden. But I think we're sort of seeing a shift, to be honest, in terms of like sort of dart refereeing, because I think we're now sort of starting to enter the age where young kids are growing up wanting to become dart referees, if that makes sense. Whereas before, dart referees used to fall into it a bit. I think, Russ sort of fell into it, George fell into it. I sort of fell into it. I was only 17 when I made my television debut. I had no idea what I wanted to do with my life. Do you know what I mean, at that age?
Yeah.
But now we're getting to the stage with the Luke Little effect and so on, that young kids are growing up wanting to become dart referees. And I think the effect of that will basically be that we will have a huge depth and breadth of young referees who they're going to get up there and their counting is going to be spot on. And they'll have watched and learned from those who are already on the stage on television doing it. And that'll be right across the world as well, not just in this country, but I think sort of worldwide, in Australia and Asia and America. We'll have all these sort of referees to choose from, and the standard will just continue to rise and rise, which is great.
Huw, thank you very, very much for your time as always here at Occy in London, mate. Thank you very much.
No, thank you, Phil. No, I appreciate that. Thank you.